Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the show. Um, Dana, how are you?
Mostly good.
Mostly good.
Yeah, well, you know how I just checked my comments before we started. Now
Yes.
Sarah's saying that she just left me a comment, but
Oh,
I can't go and see it
so
yet because
unfair.
now we're doing this show. I have to wait. It's so hard.
So unfair.
Hey David. So yes, about as well as could be expected, all things
Mhm.
considered.
You had, yeah. I mean, just based on how times that we've talked today. I mean, it seems like you haven't had a terrible day.
No, I slept
Yeah.
a lot. It was great.
Case
So,
in point.
on the other hand, I ran today
Yeah.
and I worked out.
Yeah.
And I worked out. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Well, I worked out and was on the
No,
bike,
too
so
many. Well, I mean, bad in the sense that there aren't any. Well, that now there's one. I know Sarah just said that she left a comment, and I can't go see it because, like, I'm
it's
here.
it's waiting
She
there.
waited. She waited to tell me until right after. It was
It's
right at
waiting.
six
It's
o'clock.
waiting there like a gift under the comment tree.
I was never good at that with Christmas either.
No, what? You opened all your presents, or you
No, I
just
just whined about it.
yeah.
So I didn't want to spoil Christmas for other people. That's not okay.
But
You know,
you just yeah.
you just what, fake
You,
it,
you no,
lie to
you
people
just
at Christmas? Steve,
no, you
what kind
just
of
cannot.
monster are you?
Yes, God forbid we tell lies. Um,
About
related
Christmas.
related to Christmas. Cough, cough. Santa Claus.
Hey,
Um,
Santa Claus wouldn't lie, I'll have you know.
Santa Claus. You're right. Santa Claus wouldn't lie if he existed, which he doesn't, despite what millions of parents tell their children.
See, Sarah, no, don't, because I even this is how bad it is, you guys. When I get left those spam comments that are just like bit.ly da 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 da, and it doesn't say anything, I'm just like, well, I got a comment.
Oh, Corey, sorry. What I meant to say was Santa is completely real.
Santa is the spirit of Santa
And
is the
and
embodiment of what
it
Christmas
and
truly
Santa
is.
not only lives in all our hearts, but also literally lives at the North Pole in a workshop with elves and reindeer.
He doesn't live in the workshop, genius. He has a
He had
cabin,
okay,
but he oversees the elves.
he
Okay.
has if the Polar Express is to be believed, he has a huge cult compound up there.
Children's Steve. It's not a cult. Just because they trust him and believe in him. Oh,
You've seen that.
it's after six. It's pizza time.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that movie, The Polar Express?
I don't like the book's cute. Don't find the movie all that interesting.
The movie, yeah, the movie's well. I mean, everybody. When the movie came out, everybody was like fixated on the Uncanny Valley characters
Mm-hmm.
and like the animation, and that honestly didn't really bother me. I thought the animation was fine, and for the most part, I thought the movie was okay until you get to the North Pole and you see that it is a fascist state.
I didn't mind the Uncanny Valley didn't bother me, but I just thought the animation was really bland.
Well,
It was
yeah,
just dull.
it does feel a little, but yeah, where they're like you can't all of those elves coming together in one voice and singing Santa Claus is coming to town in this like creepy low key drone.
I think I
Th-
might have been not paying attention by that point. Like I
that's
said,
that's some scary shit. Like that's spooky. Like thousands of elves all in unison going, "You better watch out. You better not cry." I'm like, "Holy shit, is this supposed to be scary?" Like this is fucking terrifying. um
no, not 255 AD, unfortunately. We ran 2 miles. It wasn't great. And I complained almost the whole time. I'm swearing to myself because it wasn't raining at the time, but it had rained and it rained pretty good. So like there were parts of the path that were like puddle
oh
the whole way across and were large enough. They weren't really deep or anything, but large enough that like as I'm running through them and splashing on my shoes and my
oh
toes got wet. So after I got home and I got to soak in the tub, and that was lovely. Um, I was pondering on that. Like, why is it that when I put my toes and I get my toes wet and they stay wet in the tub, that is just lovely. But when they stay wet in the socks and the shoes, that is not lovely. That's like uncomfortable and I don't like it. And I was thinking about that while I soaked in the tub.
Well, it's the same reason why, like, if you get rained on and you have to walk around in wet clothes, it's not pleasant. But if you can soak in a tub and be completely submerged, then it is pleasant. You know, it's like having. It's not just that you're.
I guess it's the constraint. The clothes are not meant to be, comfortable when wet.
And they're like, they're wet and they're like against you, like with your your toes. Like, it's like your socks are wet and they're squishy and they're like wrapped around your foot, and it's just not a very pleasant.
That's true. I don't wear socks in the tub. Maybe if I wore socks in the tub, I wouldn't like it.
Most people don't.
Kemp, no. They're like, if you put baby powder on you and then you get in the tub or the swimming pool, it's not going to work. I hate to tell you. I mean, you're welcome to try it out, but no, baby powder does not keep you dry, like, no matter what. I'm pretty confident. I haven't actually tried it out, but I'm pretty confident on that.
Yeah. 255 AD, I agree with you. I mean, to me, Santa Claus is Coming to Town is the Christmas Carol equivalent of a Police song. If you don't listen to the lyrics and you just listen to
police, he means cops, not the band.
No. There's only one Police song and it goes, woo, 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 woo. No.
Are you sure that's not the Wee Woo Wagon?
It's it depends on what.
Or the Sparkle Bus.
You
come up with a name for a cop car.
The tune may vary depending on your district and town and so forth, but no, like that song, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, is like a Police song, because if you only pay attention to the tune, it's really bright and happy and it's fun to sing, But if you listen to the lyrics, it's like a dystopian nightmare. It's like, he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. This is not what are you talking about?
He knows if you've been bad or good. So good, for goodness sake.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can hear Sting singing it. It would, like,
Nope, I can't.
Actually, if Sting did a cover of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, maybe he has. I'm sure Sting's of that age now and he's of that level. I'm sure he's done a Christmas album. If he hasn't, he's probably going to at some point. That song's got to be on it, because that's literally a Police song. It's a bright.
That is a totally valid point. That's a good, yeah. No, I meant like when you're like submerged. I'm not going to save you.
baby powder in the tub. I'm still wet. What? This doesn't work.
Exactly. Like if you put the baby powder on and then your socks and then you get in the tub.
It's not going to help.
Not gonna work.
It's not gonna help. It's gonna give you like a slime around your feet as the powder becomes
specific, Steve.
As the powder becomes wet from the water. Like a sludge.
Very specific. Like sludge.
And not the delicious kind that I drink every morning from my coffee maker.
You poor unfortunate soul. So how was your day then?
My day has been pretty good. I've been pretty productive. I shot my video for Monday already, and I still have some editing to do on it, but I have it cut to time. And I need, so I'm writing the video for next Wednesday, which will be another Star Trek video. About that, we'll be revisiting the subject of ableism in Star Trek and talking specifically about Dr. Bashir's family and plot developments that we haven't gotten to during our watch along.
Oh, so remind me not to watch that video or read its comments.
Or I mean, the events in question don't come around until season 5, so it's entirely possible that if and when we ever get to that, if and when we ever even make it that far in our watch along, you will have forgotten by then anyway.
Completely.
So, but 255 AD, thank you for that lovely personal anecdote. My dad puts baby powder on his junk before bed, and it's always caked around the rim of the sink when I go in there after. That's wonderful.
Well, you should tell him not to put baby powder on like his toiletries. And you shouldn't refer to his like toothbrush and his hairbrush and things like that as junk.
Yeah, that's not junk. Those are important utensils for hygiene. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that'll be a good one, or hopefully that'll be a good one. And Dana, I don't think you know or you care because you're not a wrestling fan, but tonight on wrestling, it's AEW Grand Slam.
Yes, I know that, Steve.
Featuring the AEW in-ring debut of Bryan Danielson.
That's why you're wearing the shirt. I knew that.
Just so happens to be one of my favorite wrestlers.
I did know that too. You told me that.
Yeah. So
I only knew that because you mentioned it in the chat.
I mentioned, yeah. So, but I'm pretty excited about it. So I've got my Bryan Danielson T-shirt, which is of course the Bryan Danielson version of the famous Obama Hope poster, but instead of hope, it says violent because he's a wrestler and he likes to kick people in the head. So I'm very excited. But before that, I get to watch Hilda.
I actually object to this from a design and grammar perspective. Because
go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I have one minor quibble that has to do with parallelism.
What is it?
If it was meant to evoke the Obama poster, which said hope, it should not say violent. It should say violence.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Steve. This is why you are a gift to the world.
Well, because I agree with you about this thing.
Yes, exactly.
Because we both noticed the same.
You'd be a better Christmas present if you agreed with me more often. Yes, Sarah.
Yeah,
Scott.
Exactly,
yes,
Sarah. Sarah's there too. Exactly.
We're all the same. Yes. We are the heroes.
Exactly.
The world has needed for generations.
255 AD. He doesn't look like. Maybe he looks like the guy from Raging Bull, Jake LaMotta, by the way, or Robert De Niro, I suppose. Maybe he looks like that in the shirt, but in real life, I don't really get a Jake LaMotta vibe.
I think it's the pieciness of his hair.
Yes.
In the front. That's
yes. Well, and also, I mean, it's very highly stylized and
exactly.
Yeah. So. It says violent because he hopes his violence will bring him victory. Good point, Snake Pit Cat. So yeah, and that should be it's Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega in a non-title match because Kenny Omega is the world champion.
He's gonna defend his title to somebody who's just showing up.
Well, there's that, and also hopefully the fact that it is a non-title match also means that Bryan Danielson is winning. And I really hope so, because all due respect to Kenny Omega, who I enjoy.
He's the new guy. They want to put him over. Hopefully.
Exactly. He can't, and he's like a legend, so he can't be losing his first match in the company. Like, come on.
Oh, pizza. Is yours still in the oven, or you?
No, I got mine. I'm waiting until we start the show, but I got mine. Yeah.
Well, we can start the show now. We don't have to wait until 6:25. We're letting your pizza get cold.
My pizza's good. There's something else I wanted to. Oh, I watched. I told you about it, but I watched Tenet yesterday. And okay.
Yeah, you said it was very thinky, but not much heart.
It was okay. Yeah, I mean, because I am a big-ish fan of Christopher Nolan. I mean, I think he is a really talented filmmaker. I mean, just like a lot of other people, I mean, his most ardent supporters do tend to grossly overrate him. I mean, he's not like, he doesn't belong on movie Mount Rushmore or anything, but he's a really good director of action and usually a really smart filmmaker, or he's a very cerebral filmmaker. And Tenet is a very cerebral movie. It's a lot like Inception in that it has a super complicated premise at the center of it that demands a lot of very detailed exposition carried out over the entire course of the movie, just so we in the audience have some faint grasp of what is going on. 255. I have watched David Tennant, actually. I thought he was excellent in Jessica Jones. Um, and he did a version of Hamlet as well that I thought was really good. I've only seen a couple of his Doctor Who episodes because I watched the first reboot or the first like reprise season of Doctor Who with Christopher Eccleston, and I watched the first couple episodes of David Tennant's first series, and then I just kind of stopped watching. And not because I didn't like it, I thought it was fine. I just kind of dropped out of it and never got back to it.
Well, you didn't like it. You didn't dislike it, but you didn't like it.
I did. Yeah, obviously, I didn't like it enough that I felt compelled to keep going. But I thought he was good. And yeah, he's a terrific actor. He's a terrific actor. So yes, I have watched David Tennant, but unfortunately, he was not in Tenet.
Caitlin.
Yeah.
So was the Prestige a Nolan film?
Yes.
Okay. That came out at about the same time as The Illusionist, right?
The same year. Yes.
Yeah. I like The Illusionist.
See, that we're really far apart. I think The Illusionist is a pile of shit. I think The Illusionist is a laughably bad movie. And
in fairness, I don't remember much about it. I remember liking it.
Yeah, I think The Prestige is really good. In fact, the Prestige might be one of my favorite Nolan films just because it's not one of his big like, ooh, I have a great idea movies like Inception or Tenet, and it's also not a Batman movie, so it's not like a big franchise thing. It's just a really cool story, so,
It sounds like you're saying that Tenet is to Christopher Nolan what Moulin Rouge is to what's his name?
Sort of, in a way, yeah. In the sense that
the sense that it's like his kind of thing. And goes for it.
It's very representative of a lot of what have become his sort of defining characteristics as a filmmaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
That and like I really liked and still like Inception. I think Inception is a goddamn great like popcorn movie, and it does have a really complicated premise that needs to be explained throughout with exposition, but it's not, but once you get the basic gist of it, you've got it, and it's like, okay, I know what's going on. With Tenet, there's a couple of different super complicated ideas that you have to sort of keep in your head at the same time that need to be explained. And it's like, it's to the point where like there are a couple of times in the movie where literally one of the characters in the movie will be like, what is happening? And another character has to explain to him what is happening.
Well, it is convenient that you have characters that don't know what's happening, because
that's true.
Then it at least makes the pretense of justifying the expository dialogue.
Yeah, that's true. Sarah, Prestige is the long con one, which has featuring David Bowie as Nikola Tesla, who is a delight. 255 AD. I guess my problem with The Illusionist, and especially like speaking of exposition, because like The Illusionist has kind of like a little trick at the end too, like kind of a mystery that is revealed or an ending that is shown to be something other than what it appeared at first. But in The Illusionist, you find all of that out as the camera whirls around Paul Giamatti as he silently has like this crazy look on his face while he figures it out in his head, and we get like a montage of what really happened, and it's just excruciating. It's like, this is so fucking corny. Oh my god, was there not any better way to do this? And the Prestige is leaps and bounds better than The Illusionist, I think.
I'm sure you do.
But Tenet was all right. Like I said, like I told you when we talked about it, it has some really nice action scenes, and it's clever, and it plays at having heart. Like there are attempts to inject some heart and some emotion into it, but none of those feel all that sincere. Like I don't really know that Christopher Nolan actually cares about that, even though he also wrote it. He wrote and directed it, but it just but it wasn't bad.
Maybe somebody looked at this and said, I don't care about this. He's like, oh come on,
all right, I'll put some care about. But I'm not sorry I watched it or anything. But it wasn't as good as I think his movie right before this was Dunkirk, and Dunkirk was really good, was way better than this. But anyway, it's 20 after, so
All right, let's go. Hilda!
Hilda, so oh, and 255 AD, I've seen that video recommended to me, but I haven't watched it yet. Anyway, so we are watching Hilda, episode 4, chapter 4, The Sparrow Scouts. So let's everybody get that queued up to 00 and get ready to push play when I tell you. And we will watch this episode. And as usual, when we watch Hilda, we'll just watch it straight through without pausing or anything because it's only 24 minutes. And then we'll talk about it and hang out for a while, and then that'll be it. And you could and you'll all be free to go. How about that? All right, you ready? Yeah. You squeaked. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to count us in from 3, and we will watch chapter 4 of Hilda. You okay?
Yeah,
is your flu shot is hurting you?
It just aches. It's good though because it reminds me that I have been protected.
Yes, indeed.
So let's count.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Badong.
Badong.
No pressure.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not living vicariously through you, I swear. This isn't my good sweater, obviously.
It like hits her a minute later.
It's hilarious. This piece of shit isn't my good sweater. To hell with this piece of garbage.
Pizza good?
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
To never be a snob.
To never be a snob. Very important. Sting ball. That sounds fun. I'm a wild child. I'm going to show you up, Mom.
Oh, Sarah, yeah, I am sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too. If you sign some paperwork, I can show you an elf.
I was never in the Scouts.
I was not. No, my dad was. Ooh, oh, I love cucumber sandwiches.
They're just so reassuring. Just like a little bit of crunch in them. The cucumber
Yeah.
sliced nice and thin.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Sprinkle a little bit of dill on top of them.
Now, what do you do? Do you put mayonnaise or butter or?
What I used to make them. It's like a spinach dip.
Ooh.
Like put that on some rye bread or some wheat bread, and then put a slice of cucumber on it and sprinkle a little bit of dill on top. Oh, damn, delicious. Yeah, Caitlin, I noticed that too. That the Scouts are unisex. Don't be foolish, David. No one's too young to die.
Caitlin, I'm fond of goat cheese.
Ooh, cream cheese. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, cream cheese is good with cucumber sandwiches.
Forgot about that.
I love how she drew little smiley faces on the part where they're going to put a picture over it anyway. Like, oh, that's not good. She accidentally staked Oscar the Grouch. Oh, nice. Is there a reason it has to be that high?
Of course, he says that to David.
Right to the nervous one. Welcome to Mulch Town.
Nah, Steve's not the scouting
No,
type.
I am definitely not the scouting kind. His voice does not match his mustache.
Oh. Big is not happy with
I'm
the
gonna
twig.
kill somebody. Yeah, get him.
Us, dummy.
I just told you. It's a pretty good Gilbert Gottfried he's got going there. Don't show me your credentials. Oh. I'll be at the center of the earth if you need me. Oh, I love her. She's like, I want those badges. And she jumps into the bottomless pit. She's dead. You're gonna need some more rope there, Hilda. Then why am I holding the rope? Never mind.
No, she said we'll need the rope to get back up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Danny Kaye. Now that you mention it, I hear a little bit of Nathan Lane in the Onion's voice there too. Yeah.
Why do I always have to save your dad? You didn't watch that, did you?
What?
The Lion King.
Oh no, but I know Nathan. I know what Nathan Lane sounds like. He's done other films besides the goddamn Lion King.
That was the quote from the Lion King.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think he says anything like that in the Birdcage. That's for sure.
No, I don't think he does. Oh, what are those? I don't want to know.
They're the moldy onions. Remember, he said that they have to be up near, they have to hibernate near the surface.
I guess.
To get some, and they put their little leaves up the top.
Sure.
They're hibernating.
Okay. They're not scrotums at all.
Dun, dun, dun. No, if they were scrotums, I'm sure they would have reacted a little bit differently.
Whoa, what the hell? Yeah. He just grabs the rest of it. Great minds think alike, Kemp. Also ours.
Well.
Goyle. Yes, exactly. Oh. Oh, sure, they keep a herd of subterranean cows.
She having an adventure. Well, they're not miniature from their point of view. Sarah, not anymore.
Little elitist, but okay. Yeah.
Don't kill him. Don't kill him. Don't kill him.
He's lucky that she's not immediately trying to beat the shit out of him and take back her badges anyway. swear this mulching thing is like something out of a MacGyver episode.
Sarah, exactly.
That kid with the fake mustache. I love it. That quote, adult, unquote. Corey, good call. Yeah, it does look like something out of the junkyard in Superman 3. There's the guy with the mustache.
Did you see the mug?
No, what did it say? I missed it.
Mulcho Man, and it had his mustache on it.
Oh, hell yes. Mulcho Man. Oh, good. Now we'll both die. Why is this so high? Oh, that's a shame. I was really hoping there would be a badge for that. Because that's like, oh, there's okay. So this happens a lot.
It's the thing in Trollbag.
You're right. I met 3 people who are kind of nice. I'm totally wrong. Thanks for giving me this bag because I was going to straight up murder you for it if necessary.
Sarah, exactly.
Hmm. And that's the day I embraced chaos. He's got his testicle rock there next to him. Everything's alive. The world is a nightmare. There we have it. Good episode.
Oh, Sarah, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you're enjoying it.
Good episode. That was a fun one. That was really funny. I just saw Sarah's comment about I'm going to get my gullible idiot badge.
There's a gullible idiot badge.
That's such a great line. It's a thinker.
Huh?
You know.
Oh.
Because if you believe that there's a gullible idiot badge,
then you've thought about it.
What does that make you?
A thinker.
Sure, yes. Yes. Yeah, I like this episode too, Kemp. I thought it was good. One of the things I've enjoyed about the show so far is it does seem like it has a really good facility with introducing new characters that are just as funny and enjoyable as the other characters it's already introduced. Because, like I really like the Woodman. The Woodman hasn't been in the last couple episodes because they moved to the town.
Right.
But you don't really miss him because the other characters they keep bringing in are also really funny and really charming and interesting, and like it does a really good job with that.
And did you 25580, I do see that. The one thing I did notice, and I wondered about this the last time I saw this, is that they don't make any reference to where Alpha is.
Yeah, he's just kind of not there.
He's just not there.
Yeah. Well,
but the biggest thing is, this is a new experience, and and it's human society, and
that's why he's there.
Like the sort of thing he'd be interested in.
Yeah, you would think he would want to. Yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about that is, I'm maybe the writer of the episode thought that having him along would be a little too, like, it would be a little too cluttered. Well, especially since they introduced they introduced 3 new characters with the 2 kids
developed.
Plus the Onion guy.
We'd seen them before.
Well, but yeah, they had
they
like
really
and then the Onion guy, the Gilbert Gottfried Onion, and so maybe having the elf along too would have been a little too much. And instead of coming up with, I guess they could have come up with like a line of dialogue to explain why he wasn't around, but I guess they figured,
I've got so much paperwork to do.
Yeah, something like that. But they decided not to even mention it, and I thought it was fine. I mean,
I didn't. Like I figured it was something like that, but I mean, they did the bit with her mom and the sweater at the beginning, which was a great cold open.
Yeah.
Because I know what that is now. But I'm kind of bummed that they I feel like they sacrificed a bit with Alfred there that could have been interesting, and just to throw in what's a good joke. But who's to say it couldn't have been better if they had pulled in a joke that incorporated Alfred as well. So 5580 asks, why did the supposed good guys have to be coerced into saving people? I think also they didn't realize, because when they put them on, they were just, they didn't, it's not the weed part of him that talks. That's just a little bit of fluff here. And the rest of them was covered in dirt. So I think they didn't realize that those were people.
Right.
But yeah, the bit about, I don't think they had to be, I don't know. And you can read it multiple ways, but I feel like they didn't have to be coerced into saving people. But at the same time, they kind of resented that he was holding that over them. Yeah. As though, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, because it was like, you'll get your badges back if you save my friends from being turned into mulch.
Yeah, we do what we can to save your friends. Just, that's, we make it 2 different things, but yeah.
Yeah, Corey, I agree. Hilda has been, I think, set up pretty well by this point that it would if Hilda not even trying to save them.
Yeah.
Would have been really out of character. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can see either one of the others not wanting to save them. The little nervous boy, because like he's little and nervous, and the little black girl because she's just like, well, you guys are little shits, you all should get mulched. I don't think she's not that much of an asshole.
Well, and also, I mean, you get the impression, like with the kids in the last episode, like, this stuff is kind of new to them. Like, Hilda seems pretty used to the whole magical creature thing.
I've lived in the wilderness my whole life.
But the kids in Trollberg, this feels like most of them aren't hip to it. So when when Hilda sees a talking onion come out of the ground, she's just like, oh, now this. But when the kids see it, they're like, holy fuck, there's a talking onion coming. Like, what is going on? And Hilda's like, no, it's just a thing. In David's
words, this is weird, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not really, not in this show, but you know.
Yeah, Caitlin, it's kind of, it gets everyone what they wanted, and she's not happy with having to make a deal to like save people. She's like, fine, whatever. We're not going to argue over the semantics of this. We'll just go with it.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said when we were watching it, I mean, the Onion guy is lucky that either Hilda or Frida, probably Frida, because she seems like, you know, I mean,
Capable.
she well, and she really cares about those badges. He's lucky that as soon as Frida got pulled out of that rabbit hole, she didn't just turn right around and kick the shit out of him and take her sash back. I mean, it's like, look, dude, I'm sorry we staked you in the head or whatever. We didn't know. Give me my goddamn badges. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, 255 AD.
Yeah.
But like you said, you know, I mean, just the fact that he was the one who proposed it.
But and also, I mean, it just, I think again with I think they may have had difficulty getting this one cut down to time.
Yeah,
Just,
because it is a very, very busy episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that because I mean, obviously he's, you know, this is the first, they do make a point of this is the first time, you know, he talks about, you know, you overlanders, da da da. So, you know,
Right.
you didn't have to bully us into helping you. And he'd be like, how was I supposed to know that? You put a stake in my head.
You drove a wooden
Dug up
stake
my
into my head.
friends. Yeah. Well, I didn't get the Onion's accent right either, so.
Danny, I was thinking the same thing, of course. Badges? Badges?
Yeah, but
We don't need no stinking badges.
She doesn't need them, Steve.
She wants them.
She wants them.
She wants them so bad.
It's a spot. There's a spot, Steve. There's a spot. It's an empty spot.
There should be a badge there. Don't you understand?
Here.
It's meaningless.
Everything's meaningless.
But
I may be done.
Well, I know you're sitting over there yawning. You might need to.
I know. I'm so tired, and like I feel. What's like the opposite of vindicated. It feels.
What is the opposite of vindicated? Thwarted?
No, as in unjustified. Like, I've had 2 naps today, Steve.
Yes, I know.
You know, and I'm still just tired. Just tired. Ugh.
Well, I mean, you're you know.
Oh, Sarah. I don't know. Was Sarah? I don't know if you got to watch. Not 1984. Little Princess. Did I do a British accent for Miss Minchin? I don't remember if I did it.
You
I
didn't
can't remember.
really. I don't. Not really.
I just I just enunciated a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. My accents are pretty offensively awful. Aren't they? Oh, my accent's awful.
Yes.
It's awful.
I would have to. I can't do it off the cuff. I can't. Or I mean, if I can, but it would just be objectively awful. Like I'd have to, because of course there are different accents. It's one of the reasons I like North and South so much, because you can hear the difference in where they're from. Like you have the people the society people, and then you have the main character whose name I can't remember. Oh, and you know, she sounds different from the Thorntons. And Fanny, oh God, I love Fanny. She's so awesome. Did I make you watch that, or is that on our list?
I think it might be on our list. I've never watched it. I've never watched that North and South.
Oh, that's right, because we've talked about this, because you watched the Patrick Swayze.
The North and South I know is the Civil War one with Patrick Swayze.
And here's the thing. I noticed this when I was, and don't let me forget, Saturday I'm volunteering at the library.
Yes.
On the last time I volunteered, the library, the downtown library, has both of them. And I just went, So you're not going to, unfortunately, you're not going to get me to watch the Patrick Swayze movie because holy heck, that's a lot of DVDs.
Oh
That's
my
not
God! Yeah.
happening.
Well, is it like the whole thing? Because there were the if you limit yourself just to the ones that Patrick Swayze is actually in, that's 2 miniseries. So it's
Jeez.
like I forget how many. I mean, it's like 10 or 12 episodes. Like it's yeah, there's a lot.
Kemp, I'm not sure about that one. I know there's one where an actor does it. And
I've seen actually.
it's like YouTube, and it's like 16 American accents in 2 minutes, something like
Yeah,
that.
there's a bunch of different ones like
Yeah.
that. I saw the one. Actually, it's weird. I just watched it the other day. Fred Armisen did it, and for his stand-up special, where he would go. He went through all of the different states and regions, and you know, and
I don't
start like
remember
started in the
where she,
Northeast and worked his way down and around. It was pretty funny.
yeah, because she does like three. No, she does two from Georgia and one from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't practice. I just sort of, imitated, let's say. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to their accents during the episode. And I just sort of guessed. But 500 miles isn't so bad. That's like less than the difference from around here and up where I live. And that's significant. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's a significant distance, but it's not like Texas to Pennsylvania. There's that.
That's pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, Sarah, I believe the quote you're referring to when you say that Picard from the Mark Twain episode, that's my go-to Picard phrase, which is when he goes, "Well, there you are."
No, the one that I remember is she says something like, "Hello, this is my name, and I live somewhere. This is where I live." And then she just, and it's does it again. Except the one from the box, she's like, "Hi, this is Amy, and why? Because Ma, will you shut up? Because I'm doing a thing." I think
that's hilarious.
Because I think she she doesn't actually. It just the caption says it's Bronx. Because the Brooklyn one, she says, "Yeah, and I'm from Brooklyn," and I'm just like, Newsies.
Newsies.
Yeah, because Brooklyn stands with Brooklyn, and I'm just like, "Aw, bless you."
It's my favorite. I think it's probably. I think it's
Sarah was not happy with it.
Yeah, you asked for it. You brought it into my head, and I had to say it. I think it's my favorite moment from Captain America: Civil War, when Captain America and Spider-Man are fighting, and because they're on opposite sides,
right,
and he Cap has like momentarily defeated Spider-Man, like he's buried under some stuff or something, or he's knocked down, and Cap looks at him and he says, "You got heart, kid. Where are you from?" Spidey says, "Queens," and Cap just smiles at him and says, "Brooklyn," and runs away. I love that so much.
You got moxie, kid. You got moxie, Yuri.
You know what? You got spunk. I hate spunk.
Get yourself a suit. Oh gosh, I love that so much. Did you get that nose down at Duke Meadows? Yeah. I ain't never done no big con, but Luther Coleman was a friend of mine. Got moxie area. Go get yourself a suit. This goes off. So cute. I love the Yuri kid. Nope. It went away.
No.
There was a thing.
You had something, and then it
that was a hell of a thing. Oh no! I don't know. I don't know which of the cartoons it was, but it was an Avengers cartoon. And at one point, Spider-Man looks over at Captain America and goes, "Can I be your sidekick?"
Oh, I think I've seen that. Yeah.
And I'm just like, that really wasn't why I didn't see Civil War, but I was like, I just the whole putting Spidey, putting Peter Parker with Tony, I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, it's like I think Jesse Gender mentioned something about this on Twitter a while back that it's just different. I mean, the MCU Spidey is still an underdog in a lot of
Hmm.
ways, but and I like the MCU Spidey, like I really like the Tom Holland Spidey, but I do think that he lacks something that my favorite movie Spidey, the Tobey Maguire version from Sam Raimi's movies, has, and that he traditionally had in the comics, like especially the original comics back in the 60s, which it's not, Spidey wasn't just an underdog because he was a kid or because, he was in over his head when he would fight with heroes with more powers or more powerful villains. He was broke. He
Yeah,
didn't have
yeah,
money. He didn't know how he was going to pay his rent. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
he was,
perpetually.
yeah, like
It was,
that's
yeah, it
that.
wasn't just because of his youth. It was, yeah, because he
Yeah.
was,
And
yeah,
so with the MCU Spidey, like they still try to play up the underdog status, but yeah, he's also like a made man with Stark Industries in the Avengers, so you
yes,
kind of lose
and
that.
yeah, and like there's I don't remember getting that two worlds vibe. Like, um, did you watch The Hate You Give?
No, I haven't seen it. I would like to watch it, but I've never watched it.
It's not. It's good. The book is
You're
better.
you're a fan of the book, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and the main character there is kind of. I mean, she goes to a private school, but she's a scholarship kid. If I remember correctly. I think she is. I don't. And I might. Her mom works really hard, just to make ends meet. So, um, but she talked, and also just based on where she's from, you know, she she doesn't fit in either place because at home she's the goody two shoes scholarship kid,
Yeah.
goes to the rich kid's private school, and at school she's the kid from the hood.
Right.
And so, like in each place she's known as the kid from the other
Right.
place.
Kind of like Wes Moore when he was going to the private school.
Very much so, very much. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah. When I was reading Concrete Rose, it was like the story of the other West.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, really, like, I mean, distinct parallels, and I was just like, there's no way they're going to let me teach this in conjunction with the other West more. There's no way I can get kids to read a book like this thick in
Yeah.
addition to the other
To
West
the
more.
other
I'm like,
West Moore,
but
yeah.
oh, gosh, if they could, that would just,
But yeah, I mean
yeah,
that was always that's always been a big part of the appeal of Spider-Man to me. And it doesn't need to be there because like I said, I mean I enjoy the Tom Holland version, and I'm really looking forward to the new movie this year. It'll probably be the first movie I see in a movie theater since COVID started.
I
Um,
hope it is. I mean, I hope you
yeah.
feel. Do you feel secure enough to go see a movie at this point, or are you hoping that by the time it comes out, you will?
I if I feel secure enough that if it was a movie that I wanted to see bad enough, I think I would go.
Okay,
And
fair
I
enough.
would and I would be masked the whole time, and I would try to go catch like a showtime that I thought wouldn't be as crowded, you know what I mean? Like I would try to minimize my exposure. But yeah, it doesn't come out until I think it comes out in December. And I'm hoping to go see it unless like things take a huge turn for the worse and I just don't feel like it's safe.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, because like I don't think there's anything coming out between now and then that I want to see more than that. That that I wouldn't want to wait until it comes out on streaming or video or something like that. I would be like, no, I want to see that in a movie theater. Um, so, and then in March it'll probably be assuming that the new Batman still comes out as scheduled. The new Batman's supposed to come out in March. I'll go see that again, assuming it's safe.
Hoping.
Hoping, yeah,
No, you're not assuming. You're hoping. I think
yeah,
that's
well, yeah,
fair.
yeah. Um,
I can't watch movies. Honestly, if you've been coming to these, you see that DS9 for me is pushing it. Hilda's
yeah,
nice because it's short,
because it's a nice brief. Yeah.
and yeah, it's so hard. I'm just tired all the time.
Oh, and by the way, I want you reminded me just now. You mentioned how maybe they didn't explain where Alpha is because there was a lot going on
The
in the
time,
episode and
yeah.
they wanted to cut it to time. If that indeed was the case, good for them, because this is on Netflix, where if they wanted an extra 5 minutes, I'm sure they could have had it. I mean, it's not like they're making it where it has to be an exact,
Hmm.
21 minutes and 30 seconds to be, 30
Yeah,
minutes with
commercials.
commercial. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so if they wanted to, and, that's both the blessing and the curse of
Hmm.
streaming content, where it's like, yes, you do have the creative freedom where, for the most part, if you're doing half an hour per episode, but there's one episode where you need 5 extra minutes, that's not a
Go for it.
problem. But at the same time, that can cause you to lose discipline as a storyteller. I mean,
You give in to temptation
yeah, I do.
once.
I do feel like that's one of my issues with movies as well, especially superhero movies. Even superhero movies that I really like is I there's you have a real hard time convincing me that a superhero movie needs to be 2.5 hours long. I mean, unless it's something like Endgame, where it's like the culmination of like a
Yeah,
10-year thing. I mean, and there's literally a million things happening in it. I mean, Endgame,
yeah,
it's like it's difficult to imagine something like Endgame not being close to 3 hours. But if it's just like a random Spider-Man or Batman or Superman movie, why is this thing? It doesn't need to be longer than 2 hours. I'm sorry, it doesn't. There are exceptions, right? Like The Dark Knight is 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I'm sure if I went through that with like a really harshly critical lens, I could find stuff that could be cut out to shave it down. But I mean, these movies where it's like it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours and 30 minutes, and so much of it is just like these action scenes that just go on forever and don't really accomplish anything narratively. And it's like, God damn it, somebody needs to come in, some like an editor or a
yeah,
producer needs to come in and say, hey, this is going to be 120 minutes, okay? Like,
yeah,
so if that was the reason for that Hilda episode, like, good for them for saying, no, our episodes are 24 minutes and that's how long they are.
yeah.
And that's the mark that we're going to hit. Like, I think that's great.
Which is interesting coming from you.
What do you mean?
Well, because your videos are this is how long they are. That's how long it ends up.
Yes, but I
Shoot for
do.
this about this much, but if it goes over, it goes under.
But
Don't
you
worry
know
about it.
what? But to bring it onto YouTube, I'll tell you this: God help me if I ever release a 90-minute YouTube video. That's just me offering an opinion on something. I mean, if I ever get like the budget or whatever, the time to make like a proper documentary about something, or like a proper little movie, yeah, sure, make it an hour, make it 90 minutes, that's great. But if it's like I'm making like a Star Trek video, or a video about like a social issue or something, or just a video, it's like a video essay of my opinion on something, and it's like 90 minutes long, God help me. Like, and I say that because there are YouTubers that I really admire and think their work is terrific, like ContraPoints and H Bomber Guy and Lindsay Ellis, who have taken to making these like 90-minute YouTube videos, and it's just fucking ridiculous.
I just
Like,
disagree pretty strongly.
cut that shit down. Not
No,
you expect me to sit here for 90 minutes while you
it's
talk about.
YouTube. You don't have to sit there for 90 minutes. You can like stop, make a note of the time, stop it, and come back to it. You don't have to
Yeah,
sit.
I
It's
know, I
not
know, but
a movie in the
yeah.
theater.
I
I
feel
mean,
like
it's not as easy, and this is one of the reasons that I am reading. Oh, people are just like, "Oh, you read so much." I'm like, "That's because I'm
because you
so
can stop.
tired.
Yeah,
It's
you can
so
stop
much
whenever you
easier to
want.
stop and pick it back up. It's
Yeah.
so much easier." I'm like, I can't watch television. Are you kidding? I have to pay attention. With reading, if I realize that I've gone a page and I'd be like, okay, it's clearly time to stop and put that down. But with television, I'm just like, I put it down. I don't get back to it. It's like, oh yeah, there was a show that I was watching. I mean, with Superman and Lois,
Yeah.
didn't finish the series. Like
Yeah.
the characters, I'm writing a Lois fanfic.
Right.
Oh well.
You're obviously, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, but to me as a creator, it feels like, and this is one of the few times when I think it's probably fair to consider the audience, because a lot of times I for myself, and I also tell other people, like, don't worry all that much about the audience, like worry
Mm.
about the work. Um, but I do feel like it's a little bit of an ask. It's a little bit of an imposition. It's a little presumptuous to be like, here's my new video. It's 2 hours long and it's mostly just me pontificating on something. Like that feels like a bit of an ask. That's why when we do our videos together, like our conversation videos, like our Batman stuff, sometimes, yeah, like that, the last video we did, the Batman animated series one, I think we recorded for something like over 2 hours.
Yeah, we just
Um,
talked.
and the video itself is less than an hour, because I went through and I said, okay, here's where we go off on a tangent. Here's where we go off on a tangent. This doesn't need to be there. This doesn't need to be there. And, it, and focused it into, a 40, 50, 60-minute conversation that was about the subject that we said it was about, and cut out all the other stuff. And I think it's a much better piece because of that, you know. 25AD says, I had to stop watching your last video because I can't stand it when people are like, I know you're unhappy, more shit isn't getting done, but here's why you need to be patient. Is that what I said?
More
I
shit
mean,
isn't getting done.
I don't think that's really the point of the video. I don't think that's the point of the video I put up today. I'm not asking people to be patient. I'm saying there's
Oh, last
something.
video, not the one you were just talking about.
No, I
But the
mean,
one
no,
you...
yeah, not our video. No, the Supreme Court video, I think, is what 255AD is talking about.
Okay.
I mean, my point. I'm advocating for a particular thing that I think we should do. I'm not saying, be. I mean, there are times when I do think you just have to be patient. Like there's no choice, even though you might. You know what I mean?
No, you don't just
But
have to be patient. You can always complain about it.
you can
Like
always
when
complain
somebody's
about it.
when
Yeah.
somebody's like, I love that when somebody's when I say ask somebody how they're doing, they're like, oh, well, I can't complain. I'm like, oh, no. You can always complain.
Oh, trust me, you
I
can.
will. If you want, just tell me what's going on, and I'll phrase it. Like, here's how you can complain about that, and then we have a good chuckle, and we're
Yeah.
both in a little bit better experience. So that's kind of
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. But I mean, like the Supreme Court video is specifically about a thing that I think we should do.
Yeah.
Instead of just be patient and wait for, because there was someone who left a comment on that said something like, oh, but I mean, things are slowly but surely moving in the right direction, and let's not do anything too drastic. And it's like, well, no, if we have the opportunity to do something that will move things in our direction faster than they would otherwise, let's do it. Especially now, because I mean, the Republicans have been dragging things in their direction more or less continuously for the last
Since
40
like
years.
a long time ago.
Yeah. So like,
Sorry,
let's start dragging shit in our direction. Can we please? But no, that certainly wasn't my intention to say, just be patient. I mean, sometimes that's unavoidable, but in the case of the Supreme Court, I think there are definitely things we can be pushing for, and we should. And Sarah, I definitely agree with you about the action scenes, especially the action scenes in the Marvel Netflix shows. The action, especially in the first season, the fight scenes in Daredevil were amazing. And one of the things that made them so good was that he was allowed to show that it took a physical toll on him. He wasn't just, nonstop action the whole time and then just walking away. Like he was exhausted by the end of it. That's also why the sword fight in Rob Roy is the best movie sword fight I've ever seen. Because by the end of that sword fight, they are both absolutely fucking exhausted because they've been swinging these humongous heavy swords the entire time. And it's not like an Errol Flynn, Robin Hood fight scene. Like it looks physically demanding, and it's great.
255 AD. Yes, but it is an excuse. It's just not a reason. But yeah, it's just yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah, well, we'll wrap it up. But yeah, I mean, it's always tough, especially And like I said at the beginning of the
Well,
video,
I more meant about the Democrats not getting, and then of
oh,
course, oh God, don't fucking get me started on the deportations to Haiti.
oh
Just
my God, that's
let's
a
just
shit
not.
show. That's a shit show. Yeah, that's a
That's
shit show.
just
You know how I feel about that. I think everybody who watches my channel know. I feel like I think the solution is to just let more people in, not to be deporting people and sending people away.
oh fuck
And I mean, I think we should let people who come to the border in. I think we should be
yeah.
actively allowing more refugees in. That's my solution to the problem, is to just let more people in and make it easier for people who need to come here to come here. Um, you know,
People are like, well, what if somebody just showed up at your door? And I'm just like, I'd offer them have a seat. Can I get you something to drink? Like,
well,
that's what you do.
and also, and also, that's a really disingenuous argument, because that's not what's happening. They're not showing up at your individual house.
Yeah.
They're showing up
Oh God,
at
Sarah,
the
it's
border of
awful.
our. They're showing up at the border of our country, and they are asking us to help them, which we could easily do.
Their leader's been
And
assassinated. There's been like an earthquake.
yeah, it's yeah.
It's horrible. Oh, and then I did want to say about the fights.
Yes.
Kind of what you were saying. The key to it is not action but reaction. And that's what so many fight scenes just don't
Oh,
have.
absolutely,
Like it just
absolutely.
doesn't matter. So
And
yeah.
and there has to be a story, which I think we've talked about before. And I know Jason and I talk about this a lot whenever we do action movies for late seating. A fight scene should tell a story, and there should be a reason that you as the viewer can comprehend why one person wins the fight and one person loses the fight.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
Um,
also why they fight.
why?
Like
Yes, obviously, yes,
why
and
they
why?
have
Yeah,
to fight.
why they're fighting in the first place.
Oh,
But yeah, and yeah,
there is
reaction.
bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, Sarah. There is. I mean, there is less of it with Trump gone, but unfortunately, not. There's still a lot of it, and
Yeah.
with immigration, in particular, I think that's going to be something that uh, is going to remain a struggle for a long time, no matter which party is in power. Because unfortunately, the Democrats, and I am a Democrat, I'm registered Democrat, I vote Democrat, but the Democrats, especially the sort of mainline moderate Democrats, are so terrified of alienating voters by appearing to be soft on illegal immigration, or quote unquote soft on crime, that they will be tolerant of stuff like this. And when they shouldn't be, when they should be
Yeah.
taking the exact opposite position, like Joe Biden should be leading the charge and saying, hey, we need to find a way to keep these people here, and instead of loading them onto planes and sending them away so that the optics are better and there aren't these crowds of people at checkpoints, how about we reduce the crowd by just letting them the fuck in the country and figuring out what they need and what we can do for them,
Yeah.
you know.
All right. And
But
on that
anyway,
dismal note,
yes,
don't
thanks.
forget that there are people that you can help. How's that?
Yes,
You
people that
have a
you can
chance
help.
to make a difference and to help somebody who needs a hand and has asked
Absolutely.
for help, and you wouldn't be being rude by saying, hey, can I help you? And you wouldn't have to feel awkward about it.
Exactly.
uh
Charitylinks.page. It is linked in the
Down in the
description.
description.
Yep.
Woohoo!
Also, let's not forget, Dana, that you have a YouTube channel.
I do, and it doesn't have nearly enough comments.
No, leave more comments. Watch Dana's videos and leave more comments.
Shoot, you can leave me comments saying, hey, I'm having a terrible day, or hey, I'm having a great day. You don't even have to watch the video.
You're like
so
you're like, just comment on, give me, post recipes, I don't care.
yes, although I do think there a character limit on comments. Like if you put a blog post first, if you put a blog post first and then the recipe, know that I'm scrolling past the post and I'm getting the recipe first.
Yeah, for real.
And I'm having somebody else cook it, because you don't want me making your recipe, folks. That's like me making a recipe is like oatmeal in the microwave and then cleaning up what boiled over.
I think there is a character limit on comments. It's just not. It's just not
Okay,
nearly
Steve, let's
short
go.
enough.
Let's go. We need to wrap this up so that I can read Sarah's comments.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Let's not forget. Yeah. So,
well, she said I just left another one.
And, that's awesome. So Dana and I will also be back this Friday for the next read-away, where we'll be talking about chapters
10, 11, and 12, right? Wait, or is it 6?
No, it's
7, 8, 9.
it's 7, 8, and 9. 7, 8, and 9
okay.
of Quicksand. So if you're reading along with us, have chapters 7, 8, and 9 done by this Friday. And next week, I have a couple of videos coming out. I have a video on Monday about how an old Conan O'Brien comedy bit treated Donald Trump, which I wrote and shot today, and will hopefully be a good video. And then
hopefully. I'm sure it will.
I think it will be. It's coming along well, okay, so far.
I believe in you.
Oh, thank you. And a week from tonight will be my next Star Trek video about ableism and Dr. Bashir's family, and then also our next Trek, actually, where we will be back watching Deep Space Nine. Once again, we will be watching the next episode of Deep Space Nine. I haven't gotten to any episodes I want us to skip yet, so we will be watching Invasive Procedures, which is a really good episode, guest starring John Glover, one of my favorite character actors. So yeah, that's what's coming up around here for the next week. So yeah, Empire, Jeff. Right, I'm looking forward to Conan's. I'm looking forward to Conan's HBO Max show whenever that comes around, and whatever that is. 255 AD, it is very pro Conan. I am generally very pro Conan. And Kemp, the next comment response. Actually, me and Dana are going to do a comment response about my Batman animated series videos coming up soon-ish. But as far as Star Trek, probably next month will be the next comment response. Anyway, I believe that's it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for
Absolutely.
Hilda, and hope to see you again next time.
Yep. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.